What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Kinda Funny podcast here on the Kinda Funny Network. I'm your host, Nick Scarpino. Alongside, it is Christmas and almost November. Joey Noel.
It's weird that you're hosting from this side.
This is just how, it's your fault.
It's my fault.
You sat in my chair that I'm hosting from. Normally I sit next to Tim.
Do you?
This is the guest chair when Andy's not here. This is the guest chair.
When Andy's not here. But I'm in Greg's spot and Greg's not here.
But good, that's
Greg's
the host spot.
Oh.
For KF Podcast.
But does he not sit over there?
I'm always over here.
No, again.
It's not true. But it's this side. I don't know
that
why.
incredible baritone voice
Thank
you're
you
hearing,
very
of
much.
course, is Tim Geddes.
Is that baritone? Am I baritone?
You're probably baritone, yeah. You're not bass, but you have a
Definitely
low
not bass.
voice.
All
And we
about
know
that
because every
bass,
time we record you, it does weird shit to the
It does
mics.
weird shit. I don't know why, man. Just let me talk.
Joey, what happened was this.
Uh-huh.
Okay, if you remember originally,
Yeah.
when we added Andy to the Kinda Funny, into the Kinda Funny podcast, some would say a great addition.
Yeah.
Some would say the biggest mistake of our lives.
Who can say?
He sat. It was Tim, Andy, Greg, me. I don't know why it
Middle
was,
guy.
but Greg was here and he was hosting the show, and that's just always how it was. So we transitioned to the pandemic years, and it's all over the place. Wherever Discord decided to put us was where
Yeah.
we ended up being. Then we get the
Alphabetically.
studio and meet him. And
Well, it's all because me and you wanted to be on the sides.
We wanted to edge.
Yeah, we needed to edge. Yes. Well, that's
know.
because
Greg's a
gotta-
good middle. You and I are good
Yeah.
edgers.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better phrase for
Well, it was mainly because like we wanted more versatile shots of ourselves because we are those type of people. And you
Oh, and you didn't
wanted
wanna be next
you
to each
wanted
other?
a little bit just more like dynamicism. Dynamicism when it comes to like our angles, more versatility. If you're
Yeah.
just dead on, you're just dead on.
Yeah.
We're talking about OG days of the original spare bedroom,
Okay.
right? And then the other thing was Greg and Colin didn't like wearing pants and
That's
just
right.
like wearing socks and stuff, whereas Nick and I are like, we're respectable human beings, are going to wear shoes.
Well, you have to
do
leave
the
your
whole
house
thing.
to go to work.
That too.
They didn't have to
So
at the
we
time.
were like, we want to, show
Yeah.
off our lower halves. So
Yeah.
that's why we had the.
This is right when I
sides.
discovered skinny jeans. I was like, I'm going to be a skinny jean guy in for life, never going to change. Also, I had to occasionally get up and adjust the
And
audio
yeah,
and
you were
camera.
the audio guy at
So
the
it was
same
a little
time.
hard to
Yeah.
do that from like behind the desk.
Yeah.
So remember when I used to
Then
have
you
to
had
sit
to,
there
like,
like
shuffle.
look and like have to go over there? I was honestly.
I remember
But then what
you
happened
used
was
to wear the headphones, right?
I
With
used to wear the
board?
headphones. Yeah, I see pictures of myself on that nice. What are they called? Aura frames. That Kevin has on his desk, and I was like, I look 20 years younger when we started this company.
It's
than I do
wild.
now. Running this company is like being president of the United States.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Ages you
Not
beyond
many
years.
differences.
Yeah,
Of course,
the
Joey,
Amount, the amount of gray hair you and Greg specifically have now
I
is
know.
crazy. I feel like I don't really notice it as much as with you.
It's a slow burn, but look at my freaking beard. I am just distinguished looking. Hi. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Kinda Funny podcast. If you guys did not know, of
God.
course, each and every week we come here, we talk about awesome stuff for your guys' viewing and audio pleasure. Shout out to our Patreon producers who make all of this happen. Of course, Drummer Boy, Casey Andrew, James Hastings, Nathan Lamoth, and Carl Jacobs. You are amazing. And then, of course, our illustrious sponsors this week are New World, Eternum, Phasmophobia, Marvel Snap, and Shady Rays, but we'll talk about those a little bit later. Joey, back to the task at hand. So the studio starts.
Yeah,
We make the same 4 people on the podcast,
yeah.
and for whatever reason, Andy lumbers over with his hair flopping all over the place.
Yeah, it was very
flopping
floppy.
all over the place,
So floppy.
cutting through the wind like a shark. Sits down in my seat, and I get here because I'm all frazzled because I, single-handedly built this place.
Oh yeah.
Built all these LED tiles myself. Focused the lights on Andy's little face, and I go, "Hey man, what's up?" And he goes, "What's up?" That was the extent of the
My seat
conversation we
now.
had about it. And I'm like, "You think you got what it takes to
an
edge?
assertion
You can't
of
edge."
dominance to
Yeah.
just be like, "This is mine now."
He sat on his
It
foot
happens.
too. Like he's a little taller than me now. If you notice, by the way, Andy sits on his foot when he's on the chair, and it kills his foot. It goes to sleep, but he just eats through the pain, so he can be just a little taller than me.
G and I did a very special Kinda Funny podcast just 2 weeks ago, and we had the chair set up, which are the rare one-on-one chair interview setup for the KF podcast. But the chairs are just the same chairs that are normally flanking the couch for the show for the
We're
KF
all chairs
podcast.
now.
What's up?
The podcast is all chairs.
I guess that's what it is. All chairs. And Gia was like trying to figure out what was up with the seat. And when she learned that like one of them is just a little like has padding to make Nick taller, like she's never laughed harder in her life.
It's not to make me taller. It's to even me out
Yeah,
with
okay.
Greg.
same thing?
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
It's to make
Yeah.
Greg look a little shorter.
Okay,
That's how it
okay.
goes. And to be fair, Kevin did a great job at finding all the things that could even us out. Again, not taller, just even us out.
Just even us out.
But then Kevin, in perfect Kevin fashion, was like, "What if we use all 15 of them on the same chair?" And so when I sit, the chair
Of course.
the pad wobbles because there's so much. So
And
I
the
actually
cushion
take some.
protrudes so much now.
Yeah, I just want to use. He found these really rad they're like boards that like fold out to make a solid sort of like board, so the cushion doesn't actually sink in. Because that was the only problem. Is I was like I was sinking too far in, and I was just like my posture is terrible here. As far as the height, it was perfect. It was fine.
Yeah,
It was just a
fine.
posture issue.
It's just when you sit on it, your legs are sticking out like that, right? That was Gia, but it was
No,
very funny.
so that's why what it does is instead of having it slant like this, it just keeps it even so that my legs can actually
Yeah.
like feel comfortable because the pad itself is just too freaking long. And Greg's just too tall.
How'd you feel last Friday, Nick, when we started the Kind of Funny Gamescast and it immediately turned into a Kind of Funny podcast and we just went off the rails. And if anybody doesn't know, you should listen to last Friday's Kind of Funny Gamescast if you're a fan of the Kind of Funny podcast, because it was one of my favorite KF podcasts we've done in a long time. It was just on the wrong feed and wrong show, but
Yeah.
sometimes things just have to happen.
Yeah.
And
You just get too
before
far
we went
down.
live here, you were saying like, what needs to happen is we need to turn this into a Gamescast. Like, can you imagine everybody if right now the Switch 2 was announced and the three of us just had to deal with
We're
it?
the only ones that are the most qualified to talk about it.
Honestly, Tim, sometimes I fantasize about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably the least useful person in this place when it comes to talking about video games. Even though I do, in fact, have a long lineage of video games and I
course.
play games all the time.
Yeah.
I'm useless in that regard. So part of me fantasizes of like, Greg gets stuck in a tunnel. Andy gets attacked by snakes.
Of course.
Blessing just doesn't want to come
Caleb's
in.
all this time.
And you go, I have to rely on Nick Scarpino to produce and host a Gamescast.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I
It's a
will
goal of my
say,
life.
I think that you've been on exactly one more episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily as an actual like chaired co-host than I have, because I haven't done it at all, but I think you've done one.
I think I know. I think I just did Gamescast. I don't think I did. I don't think I've ever been on Games Daily.
Yeah.
Ooh, for
It
what?
was
I think
like
it
an
was-
April 1st bit. But it was like
that
an
doesn't
actual thing.
count.
You
That
guys
doesn't
actually
really
talked
count.
about
I
it.
thought there was another one where it was one of those like E3
No one's here,
out
like-
of town, somebody's running late, hit traffic,
No,
got a flat tire kind of thing.
I've done the fill-in like, hey, Nick sections when everyone needs a break. Like basically, Tim goes like, look, at some point I'm going to need to eat pizza. That's when it's your time to shine, Nick. And I go, cool. And then I pitch him on 15 ideas, and he's like, don't do any of those. Just go out there and talk to the chat and answer those questions. I'm like, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a great idea. What were we just talking about?
KF podcast.
KF
Oh,
podcast.
yes.
Week.
So last week, your brother, God bless him, from the mouth of angels, from the mouth of babes here,
Of course.
goes, hey man, are you supposed to be on that podcast? And I look over, and for those of you who don't know, Kevin has this place wired up so that at any given time we can change pretty much any of the big monitors that are around to look at program of what's happening in the studio. It's really cool. It's great when guests are here, and it's nice to just have it in the background so you can kind of see timing of shows. When you guys get to the
Wii News.
the Wii News, and I hear the song start playing, I'm like, okay, it's probably time to start wrapping that one up and get ready for
See if
whatever
the
the stream's
internet's
gonna be.
died.
Right. Yeah, all that stuff. And so Cool G goes, Nick, are you supposed to be on that podcast? And I look over, and midway through the morning block, they have this set up, and I start panicking
I love it.
because, as you guys know, I have to check the schedule first thing in the morning and the last thing at night, right before I go to bed. Before I look at set my alarm, make sure I'm getting up in the morning, I double check that schedule to make sure that there's not some 6 o'clock thing that I'm supposed to be on or whatever, or because every once in a while,
6 a.m.
well, every once in a while, Nintendo will do something at fucking 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then Tim has to be here, and then it shifts the whole day, and then
Totally.
I come in at my normal time, and I'm 15 hours late. Thank you, Mr. Nintendo. So I checked that. So I'm like, there's no way I missed the podcast. It was happening at noon. And I go in, and of course, it's just sheer shenanigans. And it looked like you guys have a lot more fun than you do when I'm on the podcast.
I mean, you popped in for a second, but yeah, everyone check it out if you haven't already on the Kind of Funny Gamescast feed. It was a amazing episode with twists and turns galore. We got a new nickname for Roger. What was it? The pot pie guy?
Yeah,
The pot pie guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pot pie guy.
Yeah.
And that was an accident too, which is
Of
the
course.
most insane part about it. Like you didn't
As
know
it
that I
normally
had a
is.
pot pie, which
I
was
didn't.
kind of weird.
So what was Greg's
It really is
predisposition to
weird.
pot pies? He doesn't like that they make the ice smell weird?
That's what I was saying.
You were saying that, okay.
Yeah.
Does Greg also hate the ice?
I don't really know what Greg's take on the ice
Nah,
is.
he's pro ice. He's pro ice.
So wait, you
Our ice tastes great. It doesn't smell bad at all.
No. I
Because it
feel like we
refreshes.
use it enough.
We
yeah.
do. We go through. Are you an ice person?
I go back and forth. I usually put it in I have been putting it in my water bottle because it was so hot and we don't have an ice maker that's functional at home.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I can have my like extra cold water.
I love that. Like your home, everyone's home is perfect 99% of the time until
Yeah.
it gets 95 degrees. And then it's frantic calls to Nick. Can we use the studio for whatever?
It's so-
Meanwhile, I'm already
yeah.
here. I'm like, the AC's great. The fuck are you guys talking about? The party's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
I
it's
mostly feel bad for everybody with dogs because
They get hot.
I feel like that we can figure it out. But then I like walk out of my room and Wesley's just like laying on the hardwood, like, please, dear God, help me. And I'm like, I don't really know what to. I guess I could bring you here, but that feels not great either.
God,
Because then
well, you
everyone
could.
brings their dogs, and then
Yeah.
it's a dog party, and then Nick's unhappy. And
Well, then I
you
look
know.
around and it's just fur everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I have to go into anal retentive cleaning mode, Nick, where I
Mhm.
just angrily scrub things
Yeah.
for a while. And
You
you,
put on
guys
the
just
work
secretly
gloves.
laugh. Yeah, I put on the work gloves.
Mhm.
And then everything starts to just a faint air of like lemony Clorox wipe smell
Yeah.
just floats through the office, and Tim just laughs. Yeah, and then you guys do that thing you do that makes me super jealous, where you like turn to each other and then you start laughing at me.
I don't
yeah.
think we really whisper.
No, you say
I
it
think
straight out
people
in the open.
wish that we whispered more often, but we just subject all of you to our various Bravo discussions.
I
just
think we tune it
anything.
out because the second Tim has a lot of ways of saying things that I know exactly what's coming from him, and I've known him for so long now that his tone
yeah.
is Nick needs to pay attention to this, or if this is a Bravo thing that
Yeah.
he'll go like this, Joey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see that? And I go, boo. I just go, I don't care about what the fuck's
Yep.
happening next. It does not matter.
But I like to have little moments with you too, Nick. Just every once in a while, like I'll
This thing
slack
is
you something.
unbelievable.
Oh, like you did today?
Yeah.
I have no idea what the context
I'm
was.
just
gotta
saying
watch- can we watch
assets.
this?
Yeah, like, we don't need audio. I don't even know what they're saying. But like,
it's kind of better without audio.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
honestly.
I don't know. But I saw this and I was just like, immediately, I'm like, I need to send this to Nick. Like, this just has Nick written all over it. So this woman's just walking and then the garage door's closing and she was on her phone, so
This is
she
that-
didn't notice.
this is
So
just
she
it.
gets like absorbed into the garage and just starts freaking the fuck out. Which is just so funny. Like, can you imagine being this person? Like, oh shit, I'm just in here now.
Now the thing that makes this so funny for me, you got to keep it going because, or scroll to the end because there's a amazing conclusion to this, an unbelievable conclusion. So this lady's screaming bloody murder, like get me out of this.
Get me out.
The woman that walked out, that drove out originally, kind of spotted it and was like, "What is happening?" Right. This lady on the right's like, "Okay, I'll let you out. Obviously, get out of my garage." And then the lady that got trapped in there gets super pissed at this other woman for trapping her in her garage. And this lady's like, "What are you?
So he's like, why are you in my garage?
Why are you pissed at me? You're in my garage."
It just, I love how random and like perfectly timed all this has to be in order for it to go down the way that it did. Because like, we've all been there like on our phones doing something and then like something else is happening. When you look up, you're like, how did we get where we're at right
Yeah.
now? But that would be so much to take in.
But it's funny because I could see that happening to any of us. I'm on my phone constantly, and the door starts closing, and you go. Your first instinct is like, I'm not gonna Indiana Jones roll underneath the door.
This is my
I'm gonna
favorite part.
back
when-
away.
when
Yeah.
she starts.
What do you do? Panic? No, it's too late. It's too late, right?
But
And-
don't garage doors have like protections against this? Like if they,
So I don't know
hit something?
where this is from,
it's a cool ass garage
but
door.
it's a
though, I
badass
will
garage.
say.
But like in America, like most modern garages would have a little
Little
sensor.
bounce back.
So
Yeah.
if something's blocking it, the garage just won't close. Like our gate does the same thing.
But the way
this
this
looks like it was an
door's
older
closing,
house.
it's more of like a, I
like
don't
you
even
think
know how
you
to
don't think
explain
there's a
it.
sensor?
Well, it's an automated door,
Yeah.
but there's no, you can clearly see there's no sensor by it. That's a foot sensor because they're supposed to stop if kids are like running in front of it so it doesn't close on them. And of course, Rose McGowan them. Screen.
Of course.
Yeah,
Oh.
of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
You don't want that to happen.
I was like, did she die because she got hit?
No,
garage
no, no,
door?
no. It's just she got trapped in the doggy door.
Mm-hmm.
And then that we all talked about how
Again,
that
I
garage door could
always-
lift 500 pounds.
I can't, like, the fact that Scary Movie is a parody of Scream, but it is just Scream. Like, it always throws me off where I'm like, the doggy door, that wasn't Scream, that was Scary Movie. And I'm like, oh, wait, it was both.
It was both.
Like, you gotta appreciate the audacity of Scary Movie to just Be
One
like,
for one.
the joke is what it is. Like, we're not going to add much to it. Every once in a while they add much. And honestly, when they add stuff, sometimes it takes away. Sometimes just letting it be is the funniest thing ever.
Here's the thing about the Wayans Brother Productions, right? Is they were like, this movie has a shelf life of approximately 6 months. If you don't watch it within 6 months, it's like they weren't trying to make anything that was long lasting. It was literally just like, hey, you know this movie that just came out? We're making fun of that. If you don't know that movie, you're not going to get any of the references here. And they just didn't give a shit. They just churned those things out.
So here's the thing. They were good until they weren't, right? Because like they
I
started
don't think they
making
were
money.
ever good.
I mean,
They were entertaining.
They were funny.
well, for
By the
what
time
they're
we got
going
to
for.
Chris Elliott in the mansion with Anna Faris,
too.
that was just so
Yeah.
bad.
But like
I've
the
only
scary
ever seen
movie.
the first one, and that was like recently.
You got to change your life, Joey.
Joey,
You got to go all
tonight.
the way. Maybe not all the way,
It's
but
Halloween.
you need to at least get through 3, I would say.
Okay.
But was Scary Movie the most important thing in your life? Because it was the most important thing of my life
No,
when I
I
was
think
11.
it just wasn't. It didn't really resonate too much for me. I saw it in theaters, and I remember thinking this is hilarious and awesome. But it was one of those things where like it's one of those things where it's a less is more thing because I feel like they started parodying. They started like it just felt like there were 30 of them all of a
Well,
sudden.
that was the problem. There was,
then it was
but like
too
that.
much.
That's when it got out of the Wayans' hands. Like I don't blame the Wayans. I support the Wayans.
Who ended up was it a Dimension
don't-
Films thing?
I don't remember, but it got out of control where it's like, yeah, we're just getting freaking epic movie, disaster movie, like
Yeah.
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
when they started
like,
making fun of 300, I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And it was always just like, hey, remember that scene in
That's the
300?
sacred
This one's
one.
got a
That's the sacred
booger.
one.
And you're like, all right.
straight up. That-
Remember that scene in 300? This guy's got a boner in his ear this time. You're like, it was the most it should have made me laugh.
Yeah.
Because me of that era was like, obviously I haven't evolved too much. Like I like base ass humor.
Yeah.
But that shit was just a little too, like, it just felt like, how can we just get this movie made as fast as possible? And whatever the first joke was on the table, they're like, that's the one. Go with it.
I feel like I need to brush up on my scary movie or / whatever movie lore, but I want to say that without looking into it, the ones with Anna Faris are good. The ones without Anna Faris, not good.
Let's
Shout
see.
out to Anna
Infinite
Faris.
Corpses. Remember, you don't love Meet the Spartans? That's what it was called. It was a parody.
Of Meet the
The
Parents.
parents and the Spartans. Come
Why
on,
not?
man. Why not? Let's just throw two things together that were popular, and let's we'll capitalize
What
on
a
all
nice
that.
little time capsule.
But it's like
that
it's
is.
totally that. I was talking about this the other day on a podcast. My buddy Scott used to work at a Blockbuster Video, and he would always laugh because parents would come in not knowing, and they would rent Transmorphers, thinking it was the new Transformers movie. And Scott would just be like, "Okay, I mean, they're like, oh, we're excited. My kids are gonna love this." He goes, "I guarantee they're not going to." But whatever. It's that kind of thing where it's like these are just like parasitical movies that just glommed onto whatever was popular. But I would be remiss if I didn't say the first scary movie, maybe.
Okay, so
Laugh.
it looks like
Oh, yeah.
she's in 1 through 4.
4?
Yeah.
She did
Yeah.
4 of those fucking movies?
Oh yeah, dude.
And
When
by
did
the-
she do the girl next to the House Bunny? That's the best movie she's ever done.
Oh, it is pretty good. The House Bunny was after 4.
Yeah.
What's
By
up,
the
Raj?
third one, the Wayans, one of the Wayans didn't direct it. So
Got it.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
was
yeah,
directed? Was it
The
Keenan
the
Ivory?
third one was very, very different. 1 and 2 were like direct follow-ups to each other, but then 3 starred Charlie Sheen, which was like kind of melding the Scary Movie universe with the help me out here, Nick.
Like the Hot
and a Half
Shots
Men?
universe?
The Hot Shots universe, not 2.5.
Unbelievable.
Because Hot Shots was Scary Movie before Scary Movie.
David Samuel Zucker is an American film director, so he's the guy that directed all the Scary Movie movies.
3. At least 3 and 4.
Who did 1, 2, and who did 1 and 2?
One of
Was
the
it Keenan
Wayans.
Ivory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
Let me see.
Damon, right?
No, Damon Wayans did. I don't think he directed. Damon was like the big popular Wayne star. Damon Wayans was the one that was like.
He was the one in it, right? Wasn't
No.
he?
I think Marlon Wayans
Shorty?
was in it. Keenan Ivory directed it. So Keenan
So
Ivory
who-
Wayans was the guy that was like the brother that started In Living Color and did all of the actual production behind the scenes. He was in Living Color. He was in a couple movies as well, but he was the one that I think is probably largely responsible for the success of the Wayans brothers over the years. Damon Wayans was his brother.
Marlon Wayans is the lead.
Yes, but you said Damon.
You're right.
Damon Wayans is
My wife and kids.
probably
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Damon Wayans was.
A lot of
Wayans. It's
He
like
was-
the Wahlberg
Googling.
situation.
Oh, no.
Damon Wayans had a show on TV. I can't remember what it was called. I never watched it. He is my favorite. He was a stand-up, and he was in like The Last Boy Scout. He was in a lot of great movies
He was
back in the day.
in
Sergeant
Not Bilko. No. You're thinking. No. Hold on, it's gonna come to me.
Major Payne.
Major Payne.
That's him, right?
That's Major Payne.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
Major Payne.
good.
That Major Payne has the best line too. Where the kid's like, "There's a monster in my closet," and he puts like 5 shots into the closet. He goes, "If he's still in there, he ain't happy."
We're missing out some good stuff, Joey.
David Wayne's fucking rocks.
I think I'm fine.
David Wayne's is like one of. He was fucking.
I know him from New
awesome.
Girl.
No.
No.
Another
Different
Wayne's.
Waynes?
That's his. That's one of their.
Damn
That's either a cousin or a son or a
sure?
nephew. There's so many Wayne's brothers. Marlon Wayans. So let's talk about white chicks for a second.
Which I've also never seen.
Okay.
I saw it for the first time last year.
Whoa.
Fucking-
That feels like.
What
a
did you think of
Tim-ass
white
movie.
chicks?
I like all of these things. I think there's a place and time, and I'm not in that place or time.
When it came out, I was like, "This is
Peak.
the funniest fucking movie that's
What
ever
is
been
Damon
made."
Wayans Jr.?
Yes. So there's a lot of Wayne's brothers, and there a lot
And
of
they
them
have
are
a lot
very
of-
very
So
successful.
there's a lot of brothers, and then
there's the
the-
brothers and
the-
then the sons.
yeah.
So because I think Marlon Wayans is, I don't think he's their brother because he's too young. I think he's one of
what
their
do
sons.
you mean?
Let's
Oh,
look.
so
Like, I think
Marlon
he's-
is
I
not
think
part of
Marlon-
the OG.
I think
So
Marlon is like Keenan Ivory's kid.
Oh, no way.
There we go. Oh, so Keenan Ivory is the dad.
wait,
So they're not the Wayans
wait,
brothers, the
parents?
Wayans
Okay.
family.
No, well, they're siblings.
Who's okay?
Yeah,
So
they're
he's Sean
siblings.
Wayans, Damon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Seymour. Can you click Seymour in there? Right where it says right there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so all the siblings are
Oh, wait.
yes.
What?
Go up. It's okay. Sean Wayans, Damon Wayans, Marlon Wayans.
Sean Wayans is one of the leads in Scary Movie. Can you scroll up a little bit? I
Sean
wanna see
Wayans
them.
and
Yeah,
Marlon
Sean and
Wayans
Marlon.
were in White Chicks, I think.
and Scary Movie.
Okay, so they're
There's
all
Ray
okay.
and Shorty.
So the 4 of them are the brothers that I grew up watching. So Damon Wayans, or not Dwayne. I don't know who Dwayne Wayans is. That's complicated. Because now I'm thinking Dwayne Wade, and I'm like, I'm getting mad. So Sean Wayans, Damon Wayans. Can you type in Damon Wayans and see? Oh, it's right there. He's right there. Okay, so they're all brothers with Keenan Ivory, presumably, right?
Yes.
Those are the 4 OGs, and then you've got Damon Wayans Jr. and I think a couple.
I want to
there's
know
a
who
couple
else is
other
in the
Wayans there.
second generation.
That's what I
of
wanted to know.
Wayans.
But
But I don't know
Dwayne
how to-
Wayans is.
Like what? Do you just have to look at each one of the brothers' kids?
Let's look at Damon Wayans and see whose kids who's
I'm
got
not
the
sure I'm
kids.
familiar with any of the next generation.
Damon Wayans Jr. Click on that. Okay.
Oh,
yes.
wait.
You know him.
Yeah.
Yes. He's the one, a new girl. No.
Yes.
Yes, he's a new girl. Well,
Happy
This is one of
endings?
those episodes.
no, it's complicated
I swear
because-
to God, we have done this for any family of
He's like,
actors.
Let's be cops.
he's in Let's Be Cops. Thank you. That's
why.
fucking genius. But I think he was a new girl, and I think
is. He's
but
Coach.
but he wasn't. He wasn't. They replaced him at some point.
He was in the first
He was in
season.
the first season, and then they brought him back.
brought in Lamorne Morris,
Right, because-
who originally they wanted, but then couldn't get. Then they casted
and it was a scheduling thing, and then it was a whole thing.
him,
right?
and
Okay.
then they brought him back.
Right. So here we go. Okay. Yeah, the Wayans brothers are like the Wahlbergs, man. You got to just
We
stop.
need a flow chart.
We gotta
for
have a
these
flow chart.
families.
If I remember correctly, in Scary Movie 3, it opened with a saw trap with Jigsaw, voiced by
The
Tobin
actor,
Bell.
sure.
And it was Dr. Phil and Shaq.
Yeah, you're correct.
And they were in a trap together.
And the bit was
I
that,
love that's when we get Roger chiming in.
and the bit was that Shaq had to hit a 3-pointer in order to get out of the, the trap, which is incredible.
Again.
Come on,
Again,
man.
peak, whatever that era was. Remember when Shaq couldn't make 3-pointers in the Lakers? There you go. There's what it is.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
Okay, so I think we've gotten to the
Infinite
bottom.
Corpse is like, I think a flow chart for families is just a family tree, which is very fair.
Very true.
Okay, let's see.
Very
If
true.
there, is there
But
one for
when
the Wayans
normal,
brothers?
like when we know this many details about a family tree, like that's worth talking about. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We
Well,
got
'cause
the
they're all
Wahlbergs.
okay,
we got the
so-
Wayans. We got the what are these other? No, I already
We
said
talk about the
Wahlbergs.
Culkins a fair
The
amount.
Skarsgårds.
Yes, Skarsgårds.
There
Yeah.
are there's so,
So
many
many
Skarsgårds.
Skarsgårds.
There are 30 Skarsgårds. Wayne's family. Let's see. Oh, I actually did not know. Okay, so Dwayne,
This is a
Keenan
Wikipedia
Ivory.
article. It doesn't look like a tree.
No, it's Descendants. I'm just looking.
It's Descendants.
There's a Kim Wayans too. Yeah, she was on The Living Color as well. Do you guys ever watch The Living Color?
And Living Cup totally like passed me by. I think that was just like
That would have been when you were like
So that was like
6 or
Fly Girls
7.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah, it's like the Fly Girls.
That's where J-Lo got
That was
started.
where that was like basically Keenan Ivory being like, "Hey, we could do SNL, but on Fox and make it way better." And I grew up watching SNL, but I was always one of those like I was a kid, so I was always like I like watching the like truncated versions when they do the best of SNL because I was like, oh, they just
when
pick
you
the
can
funny
get the
part.
collections by person.
Yeah, but it would be like But then I remember watching episodes of it, and I'm like, this is kind of boring to me because it's long, and like these skits like are not very good until you get to that one moment where like they get that funny part. I was like, I don't know if I always appreciate SNL because obviously it's an institution,
but it's no Mad TV.
But dude, when In Living Color popped, I was like, this is something awesome. Like, this is so different, and it felt indie, and it felt new, and it felt fucking really cool. And it was like 90s, and I was like, this is really vibing with me. And obviously, it made Damon Wayans a star. It made fucking Jim Carrey a star. Awesome. I highly recommend going. Actually, that might be. I don't recommend going back. I don't know. Some of it might not have aged well. Now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of it probably didn't age well. But yeah, that was a specific vibe. I think we're in that kind of feeling right now of like sketch comedy shows because you just watched Saturday Night.
I did.
And now you're both reading the book, right? Are you reading that?
I'm waiting to get it from the library because I told you on the stream earlier. The library?
Yeah.
This whole idea with the book, you get a card, you get the books.
No.
The bibliotheca. No,
She goes. I got to get it from the library.
No, because G doesn't read like on a Kindle. She's like a physical book girl.
No.
But when you have a Kindle and you have Libby, which is like the digital library equivalent thing, you have like. You place a hold on a book, and if a bunch of people want it, then you don't get it until you're like whatever number gets called, essentially. So it's like a whole thing of like I put a hold on the SNL books, and now I'm just waiting for somebody else to return it. The whole thing because digital copies are really expensive, and you can only check them out so many times before they like expire. Essentially, like the library has to buy a new digital copy or license, whatever. It's crazy. And then now I have like 17 books that are like, hey, you can check these out now, but I'm like, I can't read all of these in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about
oh my god! Sorry, you're just a little louder than I expected.
You're fine. You're perfect. I love it. I love your that loud ears.
No, my favorite thing about that is that Nick is trying to like do like a gotcha, like Joey. He's like, "Have you heard of this library thing?"
Because I asked her, I was like, "Joey, have you read this?"
We talked about this on the stream today.
She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna get the book." And I was like, okay, cool. And I told Roger, I said, Roger, you should read the book too. Roger goes, I'm absolutely going to read the book. And I'm earmarked that. Let's put that aside for a second because we're going to get back to that too. It's like, that's gotcha number 2.
Oh, okay.
Right? So Joey watched Saturday Night Live, texted me, hey, what's the name of his book? I was like, oh, it's Live from New York, I think it was called, right? Or Saturday Live from New York. Great. It's great. You're going to love it. You're going to read through it in a weekend. Joey goes, cool. I'm going to get it at the library. And I go, great. And then like an hour later, I'm like, the library? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's so fucking cool. That Joey like goes because you're so technologically advanced with everything else. I was like, it's cool that Joey has like a nice balance with that. She goes to the library, has the library card, has to wait, like has to look through the people that have it, maybe call that person and say, hey, you bring the book back. And then she goes, no, it's a digital library. I'm like, oh, well, that's not as fun.
Well, it's cool.
It's like a digital arm of the San Francisco Public Library. I actually have like a lot of library cards because you can game the system. And if you have a bunch of library cards, then you can see which library will get you the book the fastest. Okay. So I have one for my hometown. I have one for the actual city that I live in now, which is not San Francisco. It's like a suburb. Like the LA Public Library lets you check it out if you're in California. I think I'm part of the Burbank one. I'm collecting.
You got a whole wallet full of these cards.
There's the subreddit that'll tell you which libraries you can get cards for if you don't live in that county.
Wow.
It's a whole thing.
There's a really cute library like dead center in like Laurel Heights. As you walk by, it's like the world's smallest library, but I just think it's so adorable that it's still there and you can still use it. Like kids and parents go in there and stuff.
Mill Valley has a beautiful library.
I've seen it.
Like,
yeah,
the glass and the.
I think we have a nice library like down the street from us.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
Yeah. It's not like real books or anything, but it's been a while since I've read any comics, but in recent times it's been a backlog of things that have been building up that I'm gonna let that sit. I definitely want to get to it, but there's a new Ultimate line of Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate like Avengers, like things like that. I'm like, okay, it's time to get in here. Roger's been reading Spider-Man and was really high on it, and then off the Transformers 1 high that I'm riding, I'm like, I got to get back to the Transformers. Robert Kirkman's doing a Transformers run now,
really?
And I'm like, let's fucking
That's
go.
Fun.
Transformers adjacent at least, but it's part of the. Doesn't matter. So I bought a bunch of trade paperbacks, which are the collections of like 6 issues in like one like graphic novel form from Amazon. And I was really excited. They all came. I'm like, fuck yeah, can't wait to read this. I start reading them, and I'm just like, I can't do this. I cannot be flipping pages in a goddamn book, even if there's pictures. I have my iPad mini, and I'm like, I'm a digital comic guy. Like,
really?
Yeah, man. Everything getting caught in the crease. You know what I mean? You can't just like clearly see the whole page. bothers the hell out of me. I don't know how people
Really?
do these physical books, man.
Oh, I love them. I
Yeah.
love physical books.
I don't read a ton of physical books, mostly because it's just a space issue.
And that too. Yeah.
As your house is overtaken bookshelves as far as the eyes can see. It's a very
It's
impressive collection.
exclusively physical.
Yeah, but I feel like I just am in so many different moods to read that like I like having multiple options.
Well, the Kindle's
at
a
any time.
perfect piece of technology, like for
it is
reading.
perfect.
Do you have a Paperwhite or whatever it is where
Yeah.
where
It's in my backpack.
I'll never forget when D got one of these because I used to have a little iPad, like one of the first or second generation like iPad minis, and I used to read comics on it too, which was it's cool, but like I always felt like it took a little too much effort because it was too small to like zoom in and stuff, and I'm like, but I liked it, and I still I don't mind reading comics on there.
Just letting you know now, the new generation of iPad Mini that's like bezel-less, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like the problem is the ones with the button, yeah, it wouldn't get a perfect like full page. The iPad Mini is like exactly what it needs to be, and the whole thing you get it. You don't ever need to zoom in at all.
I might get. Well,
It's
also
great.
they have like if you're reading on the right app, you can like tap and it'll just go to the cell, which is super cool as well. But I remember being like, the first time we like went out and D loves sitting by the freaking pool. If you tell her it's 85 degrees outside, she's like, cool. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna make you take your shirt off, Nick, and sit by a pool for 6 hours, and you're gonna hate every second of it. But I love her, so I do it anyway. But I'm like, cool. I've got
no
comics.
one's making you take your shirt off.
I have to. And she's like, you gotta get a tan.
Oh,
You're
okay.
too pasty white. I'm
This
like,
is multi-level.
Well, no. Inevitably, what happens is I go, I'll take it off for a little bit, get some vitamin D in the eyes and on the skin or whatever, get a nice little tan, and then after an hour,
yeah.
I put it back on. I put the umbrella up or whatever, and we just sip Diet Cokes back then. Now I just sip water. But I'll never.
Quick, sorry to interrupt the story, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's important. You're going to need to hear this, Nick, because I haven't told you, and you're going to appreciate it.
Sure.
When I went to Mexico, I'm still not going to say what I did there. But
You
He won't
did or
even tell.
did
By the
not
way,
do.
folks, he won't even tell me offline. I took him out for a nice coffee. I sat him down, and I just casually brought it up. I was like, we were talking, and I was like, oh, by the way, Mexico, what freaky deaky shit did
What
you guys get
happened in
into? And he was
Mexico?
like, I'm not telling you.
so what did happen though is I was required to wear a UV repellent shirt. They were like, you're too white. So if you're going to be in these the waters, you need to wear a shirt. And I was
It
like,
worked. You didn't get burned.
I honestly I didn't, but apparently it's like I don't to say it's new tech sounds ridiculous, but like it was a full thing where they were like, "Yo, we have shirts for you to buy. Like this is a thing." And the shirts repel the UV rays in a way that like it protects you. It's like way better than sunscreen. You should also sunscreen and that.
sure.
But like I was great and I was just like, I get to wear a shirt and like people aren't judging me. This is fucking awesome.
And they look at you like, Tim, why you wear it? It's UV.
it's UV baby.
UV shirt, baby.
Sun safety.
Well, I like to think in the reality of this though is like as you're scanning the horizon and seeing all these like tan shirtless people in Mexico, and then you get to Tim and it's just like
Alert, alert.
it's just like when you see the video of like CIA and it's just a big white spot.
Yeah.
It just blinds the
I
camera.
mean, it is kind of like that, but there was a lot of other people that were in these shirts. Like I was like, this.
What do
Mexico
they
got it
feel
down,
like?
dude.
Like, do they
It's
It
like
can't
a
be good for your
neoprene
skin.
kind of? No, maybe not.
It's got to be poisoning you somehow.
Why?
It's like
no,
anti-radiation.
it's just, I think it's just like the colors are
It's just a white,
like
yeah.
yeah. But I've now got a sick ass teal one though. It feels just like
a
it felt
sport
good.
shirt?
It felt good. It felt like a I mean,
like a
kinda-
dry wick sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I'm really
You
bad
gotta
at
bring it
explaining
in
how
now.
shirts feel. Yeah, I'll just bring it in and you guys will see it. But it's great.
I mean, that's cool. And that's good for you because you burn very, very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Which is
Oh, yeah.
good. But anyway, I'll never forget like taking out my iPad for the first time in the sun and being like, oh, this is useless. I can't see this. And then D takes out her Paperwhite. And I'm like, that is just a cool, like lo-fi, great, like very well-designed piece of tech. And she has like 30 books on that at any given time.
It's great.
She
Do you
literally-
want exciting information?
I love it.
Last week, they announced Paperwhite color, so you can read comics on it.
How big?
It's same size. Yeah.
Cool.
Really cool. Is it
lasts
worth
forever too?
the double amount of money that the regular Paperwhite costs? For me personally, no. But I don't read comics, so that's like not a thing for me. But I can imagine people that do. Exciting.
I want to read more comics. I think I've never really been on the bandwagon for comics, but I don't have the piece of tech that would allow me to. So I just bring books
You
with
don't
me
have
all
an
the
iPad?
No, my iPad died a long time ago. I had an iPad mini. And it died a long time ago. And I wanted to get a bigger one just to keep it home to like sit on the couch and read comics with. I just never got around to it. But I
just
did.
need OLED.
What's that?
I just need OLED, and they don't make it. For, like iPad Mini doesn't have OLED, and
my
it's really
God.
sad for me.
Tim, I'm going to tell you a story. It's going to make you laugh so hard.
Look how
That's
pretty it-
awesome.
It's so dope.
$300 though.
I
Damn,
know.
that's a
And
lot.
like the
But
normal,
they last forever.
The normal one is like 140, maybe less than that.
Yeah.
But they do last. I've had mine for 3 years now, and it's like kicking.
It lasts forever. The battery life on D's, I mean, granted, she's just reading
2
words,
weeks,
but it's
yeah.
awesome. She like never has to charge this thing. And it's actually pretty, I mean, it's pretty economical. I've had a copy of Children of Dune in my bag for so long that literally at one point it was so hot where we were reading, the pages started falling out. Like the binding melted and like a glob of thankfully I had read them already, but Dee's like, just throw them out. I was like, I can't. I have to put them back in. Like my brain will not allow me to not have this book be complete as
That's so funny.
like super glued them back in, and now half the pages are stuck together. It's a whole thing.
Did you ever finish that?
No. I'm like 100 pages away.
Oh,
I just at night I'm
close.
like, I could read. Here's the problem with reading at night. I have the Kevin problem. I start reading, I'm like, I start falling asleep.
Yeah.
So now I'm just watching Batman Beyond,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I completely missed and is fucking awesome.
You could, this is your first time watching it?
Never watched it before.
Oh, dude.
I never got past the second episode. I was like, it's not scratching the itch for Batman. And now I'm like deep into season 2. I'm like, this is a fucking great.
I
Like,
can't wait
why
for you
do
to
they not
watch
do
the
more
movie.
with this property? It's fucking good.
I mean, it was everything, man, in the early 2000s. Whew.
So I started going down a
Guinness?
rabbit hole, Tim, that you'll appreciate. And I'm going to tell you about that right after a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Phasmophobia. The genre-defining horror game is finally coming to consoles on October 29th, 2024.
I swear I just
What did you see?
It was right there.
Okay, never mind. We're coming. Hello?
That's right, just in time for Halloween, the phenomenon that is Phasmophobia enters console early access on PS5, PSVR 2, and Xbox Series X/S with full cross-play supported across the platforms. Join the already almost 20 million players on Steam, including our very own Snowbike Mike, and get ready for some spine-chilling ghost hunting with up to 3 friends. Making sure you work as a team and utilize your equipment is key to making it out alive. It's almost time, Ghost Hunters. Phasmophobia is finally entering early access on PS5, PSVR 2, and Xbox Series X/S on October 29th. Wishlist now and prepare for the terrifying ghost hunts that await.
This episode is brought to you by New World Eternum. New World Eternum is a thrilling action RPG experience for console and PC players with a vibrant world, vast and beautiful setting, dynamic real-time action combat, and the freedom for players to choose how to forge their destiny. Combat is skill-based and dynamic, incorporating swords, guns, and sorcery so that you can build one character to rule them all as you explore Eternum and unravel the mysteries of the supernatural island that you can't leave. You love playing RPGs alone? You can in New World Eternum, or play cooperatively with your friends as you complete quests, get better gear, and level up. Greg played this at Summer Game Fest on PlayStation 5 and was caught off guard by how much he enjoyed it and how many hours he said he could see himself sinking into the final product. There's boss fights, cool enemies, crossplay, resource gathering, and crafting. So yeah, this sounds like a Greg game. New World Eternum is available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This episode is brought to you by Marvel Snap. Y'all know Marvel Snap completely took over my life when it burst on the scene 2 years ago. I love it so much that I even mentioned it in my wedding vows, because to this day, my wife Gia is so obsessed that she has not missed a single day of completing her daily challenges. Marvel Snap is an award-winning collectible card game that combines deep strategy, a unique snapping mechanic, and your favorite Marvel characters with thousands of unique card art variants created by renowned artists to collect and use. Each game only takes about 3 minutes, so you can get in and out wherever you are. And with more than 270 cards in Marvel Snap with over 2,000 unique art variants, you'll always find some new fun. Marvel Snap just celebrated their 2nd anniversary, and to say thank you, they're throwing a party. Boosters, credits, variants, borders, and more are all up for grabs just by logging in daily, starting on their anniversary, October 18th. Download the Marvel Snap app now, available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam, or visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium, polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers an unrivaled product that's just as good as any expensive pair that we've worn. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I am out and about looking dope. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Exclusively for y'all, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Again, shadyrays.com, use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades.
The other day, I like watching the WB animated properties. I love the movies. I like the cartoons. I like Justice League Unlimited, Young Justice, all those things. And for whatever stupid reason, my brain was like, hey, what's the deal with Doomsday? Where'd he come from?
Okay.
What's the deal with them, right? And there's I guess there's been a few iterations of like his origin story. Obviously, with the animated movies, they have different origins, right? The Justice League movie, he was like a clone of Zod or whatever it was. But I was like, what is the official canon for Doomsday? And I started reading the Wikipedia on it. I was like, damn, this is dark and sounds really cool. And it was a comic run. So I was like, okay, I wonder if that's something. So I started reading the actual comic itself, and boy, is it bad. But it's really, do you know the origin?
No.
It's very, very fucked up and very, very cool. And I read that entire run. That was the first comic run I've read. It's like 4 issues or whatever. But I haven't read a comic in forever. But it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Highly recommend. Bad though. Very, very Superman 1.0 where it's like I'm just gonna punch through it more. And I'm like, this is the adult in me. I'm reading this, right? And the concept is like the origin is sort of a flashback, and then it takes place after Superman has come back after the death of the Return of Superman. And he's like, I know Doomsday is out there. I got to go find him. And then in doing so, he learns a lot about his backstory and all that stuff. But the entire time, he's just methodically like, all I'm going to do is kill this guy. I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to kill this guy. And the adult in me is like, why don't you just pull him aside, have a cup of coffee with him, and just talk to him, like see what's going on with him? Because it turns out Doomsday just saw Superman as this guy that had traumatized him in the past.
Yeah.
It's the cycle of violence.
I get it,
continuing.
man. When your name's Doomsday,
Well, they called him the Ultimate at the first,
sick.
which is fucking
that's so
sick.
cool.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, and he destroyed Apocalypse at first, which is sick.
Greg and I
Very,
were
very
talking about this a little bit a couple days ago because Crypto
Crypto the dog.
the dog. Yes.
You see that image that James Gunn tweeted?
Exactly. So we
Hold
saw
on. So
that
cute.
picture.
Sorry, before I forget, did you see any of the footage of the trailer? Am I really behind on this? The trailer from New York Comic Con for Daredevil Born Again?
No.
Fuck. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah. Oh, no. So that's kind of what I'm talking about here is New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
So that just happened this weekend. So anything from that we haven't talked about yet. But leading into that, we got the little reveal of Crypto, which is like
him sitting next to the dog. It's cute.
So
do you see
cute.
this?
I
Yeah.
love this vibe, by the way.
And-
For
Could
the
not
first
Great
avoid
vibe.
this image if I tried.
Of
on
course,
socials.
especially given Greg.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about like this DC universe from James Gunn. Like we are so close to it, and it's like, what is going to happen? Because they are doing so much, and it is either going to be the biggest success in the world or like utter nonsense that just is not the vibe. And I'm just very interested in like how it's all going to actually play out. Because at Comic-Con, I was reading this like, here's a thread of like everything James Gunn said at a panel about the DCU. And after reading it, I'm like, I'm not less confused than I was. And that's not a great place to be with this.
Yeah.
But I also totally believe in James Gunn. Like he has not yet done a single thing that I haven't been like, he knew exactly what the fuck he's
worked.
doing. Like not every single thing is my favorite of his, but
No.
like it always commits to a vision, and that vision is good. And I'm very interested in how this is going to shake out, but I just am not stoked about some of the ordering of it. Like getting this Creature Commandos thing, like as the start of the DCU. But then now he's also saying that like anything that happened DCEU is not canon until they reference it in the new one, and that makes it canon. So like Blue Beetle's potentially canon. Like it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out.
I mean, that's fine for me. I think ultimately for me, I'm just excited to see what the vision is, and I'm right there with you. James Gunn for me is one of those guys that I respect him as a creator. I love Guardians. I think that he takes big swings, and a lot of them, and some of them miss, and that's okay because the ones that hit fucking rock for me, right? Peacemaker was great. Guardians is great. What are you gonna do?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad was good. It was fun. I go back to it, right?
Yeah,
I
but
was
he
like-
hasn't missed. Like,
seeing him and the dog I was like, oh, this is a different vibe. Like, this is not going to be. I mean, we all know that it's not going to be the dark, like super real gritty version that Snyder was going for. But like, this looks
Dog's
fun.
so fucking cute.
Like, if this is the Superman vibe, like that's a great place to start, and then build from there to have a contrast. Right? This is cute. This is
I love
great.
this
I
little
still don't
dog.
love the turtleneck, but whatever. It's fine. We'll get a different costume for the next movie. It'll be okay. Did you watch? You haven't seen anything from Daredevil?
no, I did. Yeah,
You see that trailer?
Yeah,
Fuck.
dude.
Fuck.
March. Got a date.
Fuck.
It's happening.
Exciting.
I'm going to the restroom, right? Scrolling through the TikTok. Or
But you were
scrolling through
just
Twitter.
announcing that you're gonna leave now.
I'm just, well, I'm like, I sit down to pee like a real man because I like to relax. And I go for a scroll and it pops up on my feed and it's like fan footage. And I'm like, oh. And it gets to the part with fucking John Bernthal. And I audibly go, fuck.
Yeah, dude.
And
I know what they got.
I hear D in the next room go, what? Everything okay? I was like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's just Punisher's coming back. It's gonna be real
It's
cool.
just Punisher's
She's
coming
like,
back.
what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, babe, I'll show you when I get out. She's like, please don't. Just keep whatever's happening in there.
Yeah.
In there.
I am utterly fascinated by the 2025 slate of movie releases we have because Joey and I
Well,
worked
it's
on
like the 2012 slate. We're just back a decade.
well, kind of, yeah. but what's wild about it is like we made like a hopeful in review schedule as we always do
We
each
do it
year.
every year.
And
It's fun to
then
go back and look at it.
inevitably things get delayed and moved and shift and change and then it's a fucking disaster. But like there's a couple matchups next year or like just movies being released at similar times that are like, how is the world going to be able to handle this? Like
The Barbenheimer
the answer is it
opportunities.
won't. Like I think like things are going to have to move or else there's going to be problems. But
What are
like
we talking about?
with how close Fantastic Four is to Superman releasing, like they're both so much is riding on both of those movies for their respective universes that like I don't know, man.
But I mean,
we
best
got
case
Karate
scenario-
Kid Legends.
But, I mean, that's the one we're all
Let's
looking
fucking
forward
go.
to. Best case scenario with those two, though, is people they come out and they support both, and we get the cyclical effect of the cyclone where everything starts going
Yeah,
crazy
I
again,
hope.
and we're back, and it's great. I mean, I want both of them to succeed, and they absolutely can, which is
Yeah.
good. I would like DC and Marvel to be doing this dance for the rest of my life, if humanly possible, just like the Joker once said.
From April to July, we've got Fast and Furious X Part 2, Thunderbolts, Dead Reckoning Part 2, Karate Kid, Ballerina, which is the John Wick.
Did you see the
spin-off.
trailer for Ballerina?
No, I have not yet.
Oh,
Can we watch
she's
it?
fucking hot. Yeah,
Is it
no.
Universal?
I think
Yeah.
we'll get got.
Then we have
dang it.
Jurassic World Rebirth. Not excited about that. Superman and then Fantastic Four.
Jurassic
a
World
lot.
Rebirth. Well, I'm just
It's Jurassic
I
World
couldn't be
Rebirth.
possible excited for Jurassic World. The people attached to it.
Jonathan Bailey, let's go. I love
who's
him.
that?
He's from Bridgerton and he's like a musical theater
Oh,
kid.
yes, yes,
He's also
yes.
going to be in Wicked.
Who's directing it though?
Gareth
don't remember.
Edwards.
Gareth
Oh,
Edwards.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, that could be
One.
good.
Which sounds good, but then I also saw the thing where they had multiple directors lined up, and they were like, "No, I can't make this movie so fast." So like Gareth Edwards was the only one that was like, "Hey, I can do this." And I think that's because he has the running gun, like he did the Crater, and like he was able to make that really lean and fast. So I'm hopeful for that. But it's like if they did all this so fast. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was like within a year.
It is funny because I remember. I don't think it was possible to be more excited for something than when Gareth Edwards announced he was making a Godzilla movie. And when we first saw the Comic-Con like teaser stuff and it was just the skydiving shit, it was like, this is about to be the greatest thing I've ever fucking seen. And it was pretty okay. You know,
entertaining.
some things were good about it, but
Too
overall,
long.
like, it wasn't a great film,
Yeah.
you know? But him doing a Jurassic Park gets me a little bit more excited. And the plot sounds fucking bananas. So
I'm so
What's
in
the
the dark
plot?
about it.
I remember reading I don't know where things have like caught up because I do know it's been in a lot of
I'm
like,
looking
back
at
and
Jurassic
forth,
World Rebirth. It looks like the top level plot. A woman and her family get stranded on an island that's home to ferocious dinosaurs. That sounds groundbreaking. That sounds super
way that's what it
groundbreaking.
We've
says.
never seen that
Really?
before.
That's what it says.
I thought like there was like human dinosaurs involved or
Premise:
something.
5 years after the events of Jurassic World
Human
domination, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. That's tough. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates around the ones that once thrived. The three most colossus creatures within these tropical biospheres hold the key to the drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. Of course it is. Scarlett Johansson plays skilled covert operative expert Zora Bennett.
How can it be that?
Come
Nick?
on, man. They get contracted to lead a skilled team on a top secret mission to secure genetic material from the world's 3 most massive dinosaurs. When Zora's operation intersects with a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized by marauding aquatic dinosaurs, they all find themselves stranded on an island where they come face to face with a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. Universal Pictures.
Universal Pictures.
I have a real question. Is Jurassic Park, or like, is there another series of movies
That
that
are as
has
bad as
such
Jurassic?
a perfect first movie and then just dog shit sequels
How
from that on?
perfect is hard because I think Jurassic Park has to be in a league of its own
Yeah.
because of literally how good the first one is.
Yeah.
Like I don't think any other franchise can touch.
But like, what else is in the conversation?
That is a
there
great
anything?
question. Well, I would say, okay, so I would say it's not that deep of movies, but the recent Star Trek films, I think, had a little bit of a drop off after the first. I think the first movie was really, really great, and they've just been chasing that ever since.
The
not to
Chris
say that,
Pine ones?
Yeah, not to say Into Darkness and Beyond weren't enjoyable films.
Yeah, but 2009
man,
was
2009
like,
fucking
holy
set us
crap.
up, and I was like, this is going to be epic.
We're
and
so
then
back.
Into Darkness, you're like, okay, and then Beyond was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
I think that was. I would say those sequels don't hold up.
Oh, Murders with Mertens, The Matrix.
Oh,
I think that is the answer.
That is the answer. That is the
Man.
answer.
Because The Matrix 1 is fucking good.
Still dominates. Still fucking dominates. And then you go back and watch those next two, and you're like, Wachowskis,
What are we doing here?
what are we doing? Someone need to limit their budget. But I
Eric
digress.
DiCarlo says Terminator franchise has been chasing since 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but T1, but that's different, right? Terminator
Yeah.
1, unbelievable. Terminator 2, one of the best movies ever made. So you got those two to ride.
That's the aliens thing
Oh,
up until
no,
Romulus,
no,
right?
no.
What?
Well,
What are you
I'm
about to
just saying,
say, Roger?
We're missing somebody from this panel, so we could say it. Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's sadly
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's sadly true.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbusters 1, incredible. The rest of the Ghostbusters, just not very good. They're not bad movies, though. Like Jurassic
Yeah.
Park movies got bad. Like Jurassic World, that's the last one that came out where Chris Pine was fucking motorbiking away from velociraptors.
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Just
There was
bad.
one- there's 3
It
worlds.
was Dominion or whatever.
World, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion, right?
There's 3?
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
the
fucking 3?
we watched
Because
all
the
of
first
them, yeah.
one is
Which one's the one with the little girl's a clone that's weird?
I think
That's the first one, right? Jurassic World?
No. Jurassic
No.
World is
Jurassic
the
World's
really
where it's like
easy
click, click,
one.
click, click, blue.
Yeah.
You my boy Blue?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then the next one where they're like, hey, remember how fun that was being on
That's
the
the
island?
second
We're going to be
one.
off the island
And
in
then
the
the
mansion.
third
from
one
it.
is the one where they brought
That's
everybody
the one.
back
Oh,
from.
my man. And they're in Italy riding around. And he's like, ing, ing, ing. And he's riding the motorcycles, and the velociraptors are chasing after him, right? It
Yes.
might have been.
He's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I
second one is the
really
weird
didn't like
kid.
the third
So
one.
all 3 of those movies are not good. Well, the first one was enjoyable.
Yeah.
As a soft reboot of Jurassic Park. But man, the next 2 were just like, the next 2 you have to be thinking like these are just money grabs. And if
Every
you're Chris
time I
Pratt, you're
see
like, there's a limit to this.
Them leaving the island and the big long neck, like slowly dying.
Oh yeah,
This is so
that's right. Because that was the whole point of it, right?
Yeah.
We have to save the dinosaurs.
Uh-huh.
We can't just make more.
Oh my god.
What a fucking dumb movie.
Ah.
God bless it. Well, this
Yeah.
one sounds great. Hey man, I'll tell you what. When your main character's name is Zora Bennett, you know there's some creativity that went into that screenplay.
And it's Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Which, like, just not my favorite actress.
I feel like she's producing, but I could be wrong. But also, what's that even fucking
First
mean
off-
these days?
How dare you? This is ScarJo we're talking about.
I'll say it again louder.
Tough. ScarJo. Responsible
fuck
for, I would say maybe like top 10 Nick cries at a Marvel movie moments.
Okay.
Not number 1, obviously.
Yeah.
That's
But in the top 10,
Come on.
sure.
the top 10. That fight.
Yeah.
Really good moment.
It's good stuff.
Really great moment.
Yeah.
Great moment. Great.
I honestly cannot wait for this Karate Kid Legends. I just want to see a trailer.
Just stop.
What?
Because we have to get through the rest of Cobra Kai.
But that's why
Not
I'm so
only do
excited.
we have to get through parts 2 and 3 of
Every-
the final
So
season.
guys, we have part 2 coming in like 3
month?
short weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, we're very close to part 2. They announced new casting people.
Oh, I
What-
missed that.
have you seen these screenshots? Nick?
No, who is
Oh,
it?
we're starting to see.
Are we just getting
clips
random
of the-
extras
the
from the other
Sekai
movies in
Tai
it?
Kai.
from the Sekai
Oh, the
Tai
Sekai
Kai,
Tai?
and we're seeing like all the different logos of the
factions.
worldwide factions, and the dude that was the main character in the new Mortal Kombat movie that like we didn't like him as a character, but he's a badass actor and he's a badass martial artist. He's like one of the senseis, and I forget what his name is, but it's like
Something cool.
the fucking wolf, Sensei Wolf. That's what it is.
Oh, that's
So
kind of
sick.
cool.
Look at him.
Damn.
This is a conversation that happens in the Scarpino household once every 9 months. Babe, it's a new season of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And Danielle goes, okay, is that still on? And I go, and I wait the perfect amount of comedic timing. And I
Of
go,
course.
how dare you? Because I know she likes the first 2 seasons.
She's missed so much.
She's missed so much.
Jesus.
But every time this show comes out, I'm like, here we go again. And they
Here we
get
go.
me every fucking time. It's like how I imagine you reacted to Boy Meets World. Every episode of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reacting that way to Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I think I, at this point, have converted more than you. And that's not to take away from you. It just says what's wrong with me, where they've just given me everything I could ever want.
Oh, I love it.
It's so
I
stupid.
could live in this world for the rest of time.
But
They're
we're not
holding out
going
on
to. And
us.
that's why I'm so interested in this, because we got the next
Well,
month we
eventually,
have part
Macho
2.
is going to fall apart.
But I mean,
We can't-
we're not
we
even
can't-
going
we
to
don't have
get
much
there.
longer.
Because then we have part 3 is coming at some point in 2025. I got to imagine Cobra Kai
Marchy.
will be done before, because we
movie.
know it's the final season, so it's going to be over.
Yeah, we can't keep going.
So it's going to be
They've
done
shoved that down our throats.
before
Zolo's
this
like
happens.
90 years old.
The movie.
Yeah.
And I still haven't seen the Jackie Chan movie. So we're going to have to add it to in review.
Oh, I'm fucking down.
and
Jaden Smith
how does
classic.
how does it connect, man?
Where's the swank? Where is she?
She better fucking come back. If
Where
she's
is
not
she?
in the Sekai Takai.
She's the last one left.
What is it?
Sekai Taika.
Sekai Taika. They say it 10,000 times. I still can't remember.
The swank is really the wild card in this whole conundrum.
She's the only one.
She's the only. She's
her
like,
and
once they got
what's his
Elizabeth
name?
Shue, I was like, come on, you got Elizabeth Shue. That's got to be a harder get than Hilary Swank. Elizabeth Shue, great actor from the 80s and 90s. Took a little dip there. Came back, of course, in Leaving
The
Las
Boys.
Vegas, and then now she was on The Boys season 1. Hard get. What's Hilary
get.
Swank been up to? Call her up. This is the hottest show on Netflix that looks like a daytime television show.
It is.
Come on.
Make her Hawk's mom, man. It
Oh,
just
that'd be
makes
so
too
It's
much
cool.
gotta
sense.
happen.
It's gotta happen.
Do we know Hawk's last name?
No,
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Swank.
Actually,
The name of the actor. They just like,
Now-
we can't remember the character's name, so. Next Karate Kid. Hold on.
I also want Walton Goggins
here's
back,
the thing. So,
but he's like a side thing, obviously.
y'all, we're this deep into talking about Cobra Kai. All right. So, if you don't want any Cobra Kai spoilers, I'm going to need you to stop listening for the next 2 minutes, okay? Y'all caught up in Cobra Kai, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
on the last.
100%.
So I don't think we've talked about this. And it's now been like 4 months since they dropped these episodes. So like I don't think you're gonna remember this. But the big reveal was that Mr. Miyagi had left a like box
Yeah.
in his house, and they found the box, and the box was filled with a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Right? So some of those things, and they're like, those are the mystery. What's he been up to or whatever? One of them was like a gi from somewhere in the world that's the same place that they reference in the next Karate Kid. And on top of that, he had a different idea. They're like, that's not his last name. It was the last name that he had in the next Karate Kid. Because she knew him, remember? Like in the beginning of the movie. We're going all in, dude. I think
mean,
they're about to connect the lore.
They
And it's
have to.
about
That's
to happen.
How is he connecting to
Crazy.
Jackie Chan? He's not gonna.
That's the shit I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know.
Because that one happened in China.
Yeah, they should have called it the Kung Fu Kid too. Like there's a whole,
It's a whole
thing
thing.
about that. I don't know. But we'll find out.
But I love Jackie.
I just
Chan.
want them to be connected. If they're not connected, I honestly just want to give
They're
up.
going to be connected.
Is he not Mr. Miyagi in the next Karate Kid?
He's not.
No.
Are we
Jackie
sure?
Chan?
No.
Pat Morita is Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, sorry. In the next
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something. It's been fucking months now.
I was
so I
gonna
don't
say, I'm
remember
pretty sure
exactly
he's
what
Mr.
it is.
Miyagi.
But there's something
He's
about
Mr. Miyagi in the Jackie Chan one too, which is weird because he's in China.
it's they're at the
It's
they're
almost
at
like Hollywood doesn't understand Asian cultures.
I don't know why I can't remember the fucking the beginning of Next Karate Kid. They're at a cemetery, right?
I'm on Wikipedia. Let me look.
And then one of the name on the,
Arlington National Cemetery, the big.
yeah.
He was referred to as Kisuke Miyagi. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's his name.
Is that just not his full name?
But then but they never. There's something that connects it to the Next Karate Kid.
Okay.
But it might be that though. That like we don't know his first name otherwise.
Wait,
like that was
sorry.
never said.
The next Karate Kid is Hilary Swank.
It's Hilary Swank.
Right.
Yeah.
He is Mr.
he's
Miyagi.
Nariyoshi Miyagi
Oh.
in
in the Karate
core
Kid canon.
lore,
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So it's his first name. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's very exciting.
He lived another life, Nick.
He
And
did,
we're about
dude.
to find
There was,
out how it all
blood
connects.
on the headband, right? And they were
Exactly.
like,
I'm
"He
gonna
doesn't
tell you
fight,
right
it's
now.
all
Yeah,
I'm gonna
fake."
call
And the
it.
headband was from China. That's what it was.
I'm gonna call it right now. We're gonna get a series of Miyagi's origin. We're gonna get a young Miyagi, and it's just gonna be called Miyagi, and it's gonna be fucking.
But
rad.
who's gonna play him?
They'll get some hot new young actor.
Yeah, because that's
That's what we
exactly.
need. Everybody, we cracked the code. We need a hot Miyagi.
They'll get someone
thought
with
you were gonna go
sizzling
down
abs and smoldering looks.
Where it was gonna be like young Sheldon, but for Karate Kid.
I mean, it would be bold if they were like, "Hey, let's just cast someone that like." I mean, because Pat Morita wasn't that a big a statured guy. It'd be awesome to just cast someone that was like a smaller, like shorter dude that beat the shit out of people. That's actually way more interesting than what my pitch was for it. Joey, you're the producer on this show now.
Oh, okay. I will take.
He still
that
has to
very
have
seriously.
smoldering abs though. Like,
Well,
when he takes his
they've
shirt
nailed
off.
the flashback so far. So I do believe, I do think, I mean, they've talked about wanting to do this, but they also want to respect Pat Morita and Miyagi's legacy, as is clear with every choice they make in the show.
First off, and I appreciate that, but there is a point where like guys are respecting this too much.
Yeah, 100%.
We're just respecting it too much.
Yes.
We're paying too
Respecting
much
this
reverence to this
too
character
much.
that I love, but like let's be honest,
Yeah.
like does not necessarily warrant that much
Yeah, but
care in time.
then
But I'm
when we
glad
get
they
it,
do
though,
it.
It's going to be amazing. I'm
Love
stoked,
it.
man.
They've got-
I can't
have they really
wait.
talked about doing the Miyagi series?
Yeah.
That's
I
fucking
feel like
rad.
that's probably top of
It's gotta be
idea
right.
list,
Yeah.
right?
He's a super spy, international super spy / bonsai dealer on the black market.
Okay.
Do
And
you
he's
need
just
to be
hot.
on the black market for that.
He's just hot.
Okay.
Yeah, because bonsai trees in the 80s, hot commodity, very illegal
Oh.
in America.
Yeah, my
That's why he
grandmother
was.
has a
You never wonder why he
wide
was able to live the
collection.
life he lived as a retired
Just
gentleman?
flipping bonsai trees.
Yeah, he's growing them in his backyard. Counterfeit bonsai trees.
Oh, count.
Remember
when he was
Karate
like-
Kid 3 when they opened a bonsai tree shop?
Remember when he was like, "Hey, the only place
So
this could grow is
funny.
the side of a fucking mountain," and they're being chased by goons everywhere they go, and they're like, "You know, it'd be great. Both of us rappel down
Mike
without
Barnes.
a weapon." Mike Barnes fucking rocked.
Mike fucking Barnes.
Mike Barnes. Is he one of the ones that have died since we've done?
No,
Cobra Kai?
No, that's put him in a body bag. That
Tommy.
guy passed away. I think Tommy
Oh.
passed away.
God.
I'll just never forget, man. This is a seminal moment in my life, watching Karate Kid for the first time, right?
Mhm.
And he goes, and they go into the gym, and Mr. Miyagi goes with him, and he's like, "Hey, they're not gonna fight on the streets anymore." He's like, "We'll fight in the tournament." And then he goes, "Now," he's like, "Now will you be my?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be your coach now, right?" And we get the training montage, right? Which is just, it starts on the beach, and he's got Daniel LaRusso doing fucking kata, right? And he's like, and it's just beautiful music. And then it cuts over to Johnny Lawrence in a fucking kill box.
Yeah.
Just icing all
Yeah.
of the guys that he's training with, fucking murdering them. Like, you're locked in here with me. He's breaking fucking and then it cuts back to Daniel Russo. He's like, crane kick. Beautiful. Wind. Feel the wind on your face. I'm like, there's no way this kid's fucking winning this. But he does win, Tim.
And then Miyagi does.
And then Johnny Lawrence even goes, good job.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, no hard feelings. And Daniel Russo goes, fuck you. You haunted me. I'm going to go make out with your girlfriend, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Kind of Funny podcast. Each and every week we come here to celebrate you and fun 80s movies that we've talked about over and over and over again. If you liked this, hey, head over to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and throw us a couple bucks. Or if you're on YouTube, give us one of those YouTube memberships, guys. We do all sorts of cool content. I think we have a happy hour coming up tomorrow. So if you're a patron of that, supporting us there, you guys can come watch that happy hour. And if you don't got any bucks to give, no big deal. What would really help us is if, hey, you got friends? Do you have a friend that's never heard about me? Have them follow me on my Instagram, Nick_Scarpino. That'd be great.
That's what we're doing.
Just in
That's
business
it.
for yourself. I love it.
No, I'm kidding, guys. Tell your friends about us. Leave a comment in the comments below. We love you very much. Until next week, well, it's been a pleasure to serve you. Bye. I was looking at the wrong camera the entire time.